Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to do something really different today. We're going to look at the new announcement trailer for Warhammer 3. This just dropped about 20 minutes ago, that they have been teasing it quite a bit, and we all knew that Total War Warhammer 3 was coming, so it's not really a big surprise, but we are excited to see the trailer. It is coming this year, which is huge news, and it's called Conquer Your Demons, which... if you've been following the press a little bit, demons have been a faction that people have been expecting to be playable, kind of like with Kislev or Chaos Dwarves, a few others. I've yet to watch this, so we're going to watch it together. I'm going to turn off the face cam so you can kind of just enjoy the trailer. So if you're just here for that, here it is, and then we'll kind of dig into it a little bit more. Turn this off, turn that off. And we'll go ahead and play the trailer real quick, and we'll turn up the volume. There we
go. Death is like the winter chill. No door can keep it from us. And summer yet may bloom again, though ice be upon us.
My child, there is so much to tell you, that I have run out of time. The sacrifice I made was not enough. The dark gods still feed on our transgressions. Corruption, obsession, deceit, rage. You must face these demons.
All right, so we have some stuff to go on. Unfortunately, the community for Warhammer, specifically Total War Warhammer 3, is crazy good at guessing or estimating what's coming next. Part of that's due to the fact that Warhammer 2 kind of nailed a bunch of the factions that people were expecting to be coming up, and so there's not a whole lot to be in Warhammer 3 outside of the ones that people have been guessing. So we'll go through the trailer, we'll talk a little bit. I am by no means a Warhammer expert, but I'm a huge fan of the Total War game. So we'll take a look at what we can kind of guess here. But honestly, a lot of people's estimations were kind of spot on, and you know, between the teases and stuff, it's not really that surprising. So it is a cinematic trailer. There are some things that people are hoping for in the next game, specifically a reimagining of sieges and a few other things. But this kind of confirms at least, I would say, 3 factions, if not 3, at least 2 for sure. Obviously, this snowy region is going to make anybody think who's familiar with Warhammer is going to think of Kislev, which is kind of this kind of Nordic, Eastern European kind of tribal empire. So this hooded figure might be the guy that we saw at the end of the last one.
Not enough. The dark gods still feed on our transgression.
And then, you know, her father. This is Nurgle here. I'm not familiar with all the Chaos Gods in Warhammer, but I am familiar with Nurgle. He's pretty pronounced in a lot of their lore, especially in 40k as well. So obviously I'm not, you know, going to be able to name all of these, but these are all Chaos Gods. I know Khorne is the last one that they show there because he's all angry. Slaanesh might be this one here. So yeah, the Chaos Gods are obviously going to be a big part of this this expansion or you know, third part of the trilogy. It's not really an expansion, it's kind of their own thing. So she's going out. Obviously Kislev's going to be a huge part of this, and probably your kind of Bretonnia-esque faction, though there's no reason to believe that you won't be able to play all the previous factions in this one. Polar Bear Riders, there's really nothing more to say other than that's freaking awesome. And the good thing is that it's exceptionally unlikely that anything you see in the trailer is not going to be a unit of some kind. There's really no reason for them to show things like this. Cavalry is kind of always fall into the other human faction, so it's nice to see that Kislev will also have them. But we also have some Chaos Dwarf Cavalry. Now, here's a little bit that I'm worried about, and I don't think there's any need to worry, but these are, I think, really the only Chaos Dwarfs we see. Now, these all units right here, these battalions, these might all be Chaos Dwarfs. I could be wrong, but it kind of looks like this right here is the only Chaos Dwarf unit in the entire cinematic, so that makes me wonder if they might not be their own faction. They were just afraid to get too close to dwarves themselves or too close to Chaos as a faction, and instead made them a unit or a few units within Chaos as a faction. Now here we see demons specifically. So these aren't Chaos Dwarfs, though they might be a unit within a Chaos Dwarf army. Maybe the Chaos Dwarf army has access to just a few demons. I'm not sure. But there really comes down to three questions here. Are we expecting Chaos Dwarfs to be their own factions? Are we expecting demons to be their own faction? Or is this going to be a combination of updates for Chaos as they already exist? Obviously, huge demon unit here that is amazing. Probably a hero unit. If not, it'd be kind of like mammoths, where it's a single unit instead of its own, you know, squad of them. Because it's very possible that this is just a huge rework for Chaos, in addition to adding Kislev and other factions. I refuse to believe that there's anything less than, you know, a handful of factions being added. It's very unlikely that that's the case, so it's very possible that this is just a glimpse. But I would not be surprised if Kislev, Chaos Dwarves, Chaos Demons, or Chaos as an update were all three separate factions. And the little stinger here, I'm not sure if this is a Bretonnian spy. He's got the kind of you know, cross crest there, and he's kind of smirking a little bit, which, you know, might be a nod to something that I'm not aware of because I'm not very in the know. But that's it. The big thing to take away: Kislev obviously confirmed. Demons either updated or a wholly new army, which I would imagine as a wholly new army. And the big one here, coming 2021, which not everyone was sure about. So we are extremely excited for this, and I'll try to put more Warhammer content as we kind of get closer to the release date and get more info. I would not be surprised if there's more articles that get posted throughout the day or throughout the week, kind of honing in on what they're looking for. The only other thing that I can think of is that it's very possible they move forward with a faction for each Chaos God. Like, that might have been Korn's faction on his own, and we might actually end up seeing a Nurgle faction or something different. And I'm not very sure about that human stinger at the end, but that could be a tease for Cathay, which I am not hugely familiar with, but it's very possible that gentleman was looking at the Cathay kingdom on the map, which is kind of this Eastern inspired human faction, which has a lot of like Chinese and Japanese influences. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, but I'm pretty excited to see what that stinger might mean. And if I remember correctly, they do see ogres on that side of the world a little bit more often than in the general human kingdoms. Yeah, there's only this little stinger here that says, players will wage war with the most diverse array of legendary heroes, monsters, flying creatures, and magical powers that the series has ever seen, which, is not surprising at all, given that if they add more stuff, it's obviously going to be a larger array than previously. And then Sega says players will be tasked with saving or exploiting the power of a dying god. Each race offers a unique journey through the nightmarish chaos realm, culminating in an endgame that will defend the fate of the world, which is more chaos stuff, which is obviously, what everyone kind of expects. Warhammer doesn't go anywhere but to chaos eventually, right? Even in 40K, everything begins and ends with chaos. So we'll see how that ends, but I'm pretty excited when we see things like these demons here. It's hard not to be. It might be too much to hope for 4 different factions all aligned to the 4 Chaos Gods they showed there, or even more. But maybe that's it. Maybe they don't have, a bunch of diverse factions. It's really just 4 factions of demons plus, Kislev and maybe even Cathay. So I'll be interested to see what happens. But that's about it for now. I'll try to put up any news that we might see in the future, see what she has to show us as far as the Kislev faction in the future. So thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, find me on Twitter or Twitch. If you have any comments about what you think might be coming, if you want to educate me on what we saw in the trailer here that I don't quite understand, I'd be extremely grateful, because I am exceptionally excited for this game. But yeah, folks, otherwise, have a good day. It's a great way to kind of start the midweek here with some new news, and we'll try to keep you updated. See ya.